So the first question is related to giving advice, right? क्वेश्चन क्या है देखिए, आफ्टर पासिंग मेट्रिकुलेशन विद गुड ग्रेड्स, ठीक है, मेट्रिकुलेशन पास कर ली है अच्छे मार्क्स के साथ, योर कजन सिस्टर इज कंफ्यूज्ड अबाउट हर सेकेंडरी एजुकेशन। अभी वो कंफ्यूज्ड है कि अपने नेक्स्ट स्टैंडर्ड में वो कौन से सब्जेक्ट्स ऑप्ट करे, ठीक है। सो गिव हर करियर एडवाइस, यू कैन रिकमेंड गुड सब्जेक्ट्स एंड देयर करियर पॉसिबिलिटीज़, ठीक है। उसको हमने करियर एडवाइस देनी है एंड अच्छे सब्जेक्ट्स रिकमेंड करने हैं उनकी करियर पॉसिबिलिटीज़ के साथ, ठीक है। सो सिंस कज़न को हमने अप्रोच करना है, सो वी कैन स्टार्ट इट डायरेक्टली विद द नेम। लेट्स गो थ्रू द सिंपल आंसर। सो इट इज़, Dear Hina, warmest congratulations on your outstanding matriculation results. I recently learned that you are feeling uncertain about your senior secondary stream selection, and I would like to offer some guidance to help you navigate this pivotal decision. First and foremost, I encourage you to reflect on your genuine interest and aptitudes. Compile a list of subjects that truly captivate you. Intrinsic motivation is the cornerstone of both academic success and long-term career satisfaction. If you are drawn to the sciences, the medical stream could pave the way for a rewarding career as a physician, researcher, or healthcare specialist. Alternatively, the humanities offer a rich intellectual foundation for fields like journalism, civil services, or academia, professions that shape society's discourse and governance. That said, if you seek my personal recommendation, I would highlight the non-medical science stream. This pathway not only leads to engineering, a field with exponential growth due to advancements in AI, robotics, and sustainable technology, but also captivates analytical rigor applicable to data science, finance, and space technology. Ultimately, however, the decision must align with your passions and strengths. A career pursued with enthusiasm and competence will invariably yield fulfillment. I'm happy to discuss this further and connect you with professionals in fields you are considering. So this is the second question in which we have to describe about the personal experience, right? So the question is, describe a fascinating lecture. एक बहुत ही fascinating यानी बहुत ही अच्छा lecture जो आपको लगा वो explain करना है. You can discuss about any school, college or university lecture, including who the speaker was, when, where and what it was about. ठीक है, ये बताना है कि स्पीकर कौन था एंड देन कब हुआ ये लेक्चर, कहाँ हुआ एंड what it was about, किसके बारे में था. So let's go through the simple answers. Okay, so one of the most eye-opening lectures I attended was a sociology class on the hidden rules of social class by Professor Smith during my first year at university. The point that made it so fascinating was the overall change in my understanding of everyday interactions. So, Professor Smith began by explaining how subtle behaviors, from the way we speak to how we hold our silverware, unconsciously signal social class. He showed video examples of job interviews where candidates from different backgrounds were judged not just on their qualifications but on these unconscious cultural cues. In fact, the most powerful moment came when he presented research about how children from different classes are raised with distinct values. Middle class kids are often taught to question authority, while working class children learn to respect hierarchy, which explains so much about classroom dynamics and workplace conflicts. What really struck me was his analysis of code switching, how people adapt their language and mannerisms when moving between social circles. He demonstrated this with audio clips of the same person speaking differently at a family gathering versus a job interview. This lecture didn't just teach sociological concepts, it gave me tools to understand my own experiences and be more aware of hidden biases. I still think about it whenever I notice myself making snap judgments about people based on small behavioral cues. Eventually, I learned a lot in this lecture, and thus I can consider it one of the most captivating lectures till now. Okay, so this is the third question in which we have to explain about the image. Okay, so let's understand the simple answer. The image captures a vibrant playground scene, bustling with children immersed in various delightful activities. Two boys and a girl are bouncing on trampolines. Their contagious laughter is echoing across the area. Nearby, one child is thoroughly enjoying an ice cream, delighting in every lick, while other zooms around effortlessly on a scooter. A pair of youngsters dangle from a climbing frame, their face alight with pure excitement. Another child grinning from ear to ear animatedly at the camera, adding to the infectious energy of the moment. A spirited dog barks playfully in the background, amplifying the lively ambience. Meanwhile, a little girl balances gracefully on a seesaw. Her expressions are radiating uncontainable joy. Taken together, the scene epitomizes childhood bliss, with each child lost in their own world of carefree fun. Alright, so in this question, we have to do the predictions. So let's go through the sample answer. It can be expected from the given picture that the children will continue their playful adventures in the playground. As the sun shines brightly overhead, two girls and one boy will leap even higher on the trampolines. They will share joyful moments, encouraging one another to bounce higher and experience the thrill of weightlessness. Nearby, the child savoring the ice cream will take one last lick before joining others in their energetic activities. The child on the scooter will speed up, circling around the playground with increasing excitement. The child, waving cheerfully at the camera, will continue to spread happiness, drawing others into the joyful atmosphere. The friendly dog will playfully chase its tail, barking joyfully as it runs in circles. Meanwhile, the child on the seesaw will find a new playmate, balancing effortlessly and exchanging smiles. The image captures a future filled with continued laughter, adventures, and the timeless joy of childhood. Let's go through the simple answer. So after thorough deliberation, I have assessed two compelling options for your new laptop, HP and Apple. While both have distinct advantages, I am convinced that the HP laptop is more suitable choice for your professional needs. The HP model excels in performance, delivering seamless multitasking capabilities to enhance your productivity. Its intuitive interface ensures effortless navigation, allowing you to work with minimal friction. From a financial standpoint, it's decidedly more economical than its Apple counterpart, offering exceptional value. Furthermore, its extensive hardware customization enables you to optimize the device precisely to your workflow. That said, the Apple laptop undoubtedly offers remarkable efficiency and sleek performance, but its premium pricing and restrictive hardware adaptability diminish its practicality for your specific demands. After weighing these considerations, I firmly endorse the HP laptop as the optimal solution for your work. It strikes an ideal equilibrium between power, user friendliness, cost efficiency, and flexibility, all critical for your professional use. Alright, so let's discuss the simple answer for the next part. So dear sister, after careful evaluation of both options, I have reconsidered my initial assessment and now firmly believe that Apple laptop is the superior choice for your professional needs. While HP offers commendable features, Apple's unparalleled integration of hardware and software presents a more compelling long-term investment. The Apple laptop stands out with its exceptional processing power and industry-leading energy efficiency. ensuring buttery smooth performance even under heavy workloads. Its refined Mac OS ecosystem provides a seamless, intuitive user experience, minimizing distractions and maximizing productivity. Though the initial cost is higher, its unmatched durability and resale value make it a wiser financial decision over time. Additionally, Apple's optimized hardware and software synergy eliminates the need for the extensive customization, as it's meticulously engineered to perform flawlessly right out of the box. While the HP laptop does offer greater hardware flexibility, this often comes at the expense of long-term reliability and software optimization. Apple's tightly controlled ecosystem ensures consistent updates, robust security, and effortless compatibility with other devices, critical factors for professional use. Having reassessed these points, I strongly recommend the Apple laptop as the optimal choice for your work. It delivers a perfect harmony of performance, elegance, longevity, and ecosystem integration, making it the most reliable tool for your professional growth. Hello, sister. I understand why you prefer Lenovo. It's lightweight and has a strong reputation for gaming. However, HP is actually the better choice overall because it delivers higher performance for the same budget, especially with its upgrade friendly design. For example, you can easily add more RAM or storage later, while many Lenovo models limit customization. HP also excels in cooling technology, which means smoother gaming and multitasking without overheating, even during long sessions. While it might be a bit heavier, the difference is minimal, and you are gaining far more in terms of power, durability, and future proofing. After weighing these considerations, I firmly endorse the HP laptop as the optimal solution for your work. So here in this question, we have to deal with a difficult situation and we do have two choices. So सबसे पहले let's discuss about the first option, that is to convince passersby to help the injured. Let's discuss the simple answer. So hi everyone, please stop for a moment. This man is seriously hurt and needs immediate help. I have a crucial job interview, but right now his life is at risk. Can you call 911 and stay with him while I quickly flag down more help? Even a few minutes of your time could save him. If you're hesitant, remember that basic first aid like keeping him still and talking to him can prevent further harm. I'll make sure the ambulance is on its way, but he shouldn't be alone. Imagine if this were your family member, wouldn't you want someone to step in? I'll stay until help arrives if absolutely necessary, but with your support, we can act faster. Please take charge here, check his breathing, reassure him, and direct others to assist. Your actions right now could mean the difference between life and death. Will you help? Thank you. I'll notify the paramedics and return as soon as I can. You're doing something incredibly important. Let's discuss the simple answer of second situation, right? So here it is. Now I'm going to call my HR to reschedule my interviews. So the simple answer is, hello, this is Arshika. I'm calling regarding my scheduled interview today at 10 a.m. I'm so sorry, but I need to request an urgent reschedule due to an emergency situation. While on my way to the interview, I came across a serious accident with a critically injured victim. There is no one else here to assist, and I can't in good conscience leave them unattended until paramedics arrive. I'm currently waiting with the injured person for emergency services. I completely understand this is last minute and apologize for any inconvenience. This is very important to me, both helping the person and the opportunity with Grow Square. Would it be possible to reschedule for another time this week? I'm available on Monday and Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I truly appreciate your understanding in this difficult situation. Please let me know what would work best for your schedule. Thank you so much for your flexibility. It means a great deal to me. So this is opinion-based question, and firstly, I'm going to express some points in the favor of rural environment. So let's discuss the simple answer. I believe that growing up in a rural environment offers significant advantages for children compared to city life. Firstly, rural areas provide a healthier lifestyle with cleaner air, less pollution, and more opportunities for outdoor activities like hiking, farming, and sports. This promotes physical well being and reduces stress. Secondly, rural communities often have stronger social bonds, fostering a sense of security and belonging. Children benefit from close knit relationships with neighbors and teachers, which can enhance emotional development. Additionally, rural living encourages independence and creativity. With fewer distractions like shopping malls and excessive screen time, children engage more with nature and hands on activities, improving problem solving skills. However, some argue that cities offer better educational and career opportunities, while urban areas have more schools and extracurricular options. Rural areas now have improved internet access, allowing remote learning and skill development. In conclusion, the peaceful, community oriented, and nature rich environment of rural areas makes them ideal for childhood development. While cities have advantages, the holistic growth provided by rural living overweights them. Now let's discuss about the second situation in favor of urban life. So here is the simple answer. While some argue that rural areas are better for raising children, I believe cities provide far greater opportunities for a child's development. First, urban centers offer superior educational resources, including top ranked schools, specialized programs, and access to tutors and extracurricular activities like robotics, arts, and advanced sports training. This prepares children for competitive academic and professional futures. Secondly, cities expose children to diverse cultures, languages, and perspectives, fostering open mindedness and adaptability. Interacting with people from different backgrounds helps them to develop strong social skills and global awareness, which are essential qualities in today's interconnected world. Additionally, urban environments provide unmatched convenience and healthcare access. Parents can easily find pediatric specialists while children benefit from museums, libraries, and tech hubs that stimulate intellectual growth. Public transport also allows teens greater independence as they grow older. Critics claim cities are overcrowded and stressful, but well planned urban areas offer parks, recreational centers, and community events that balance busy lifestyles. Moreover, cities drive innovation, giving children early exposure to cutting edge technology and career inspirations. In conclusion, the educational, cultural, and professional advantages of city life make it the ideal environment for raising well rounded, ambitious children. Dear Roon, I hope this message finds you well. I tried calling you earlier to share something delightful. Today, I came across the most charming robot toy at the store, and I believe it would be an ideal gift for our niece. It's a compact little robot with large, expressive eyes that seem to glimmer with excitement. Its short limbs give it an enduring appearance, and the small antennas atop its head add a flair. The robot's vibrant and visually engaging design is certain to spark her imagination. I can vividly imagine her playing with it, completely enthralled and enjoying every moment. Would it be alright if I buy it for her? I'm confident she would absolutely adore it.